Warriors, my friends, my extended family, welcome to another important video. Yes, the Health Anxiety program is now out, and you can learn more about it right here under the menu item, Health Anxiety. And my friends, I make this content, the videos, the podcasts, the social media posts and such. I make this content based on your questions. And in the last week, I've received one particular question very, very often, which I want to tackle today. And that question is, can anxiety go away on its own? I asked myself this question for years, in fact. Can it just go away on its own, right? My answer to this is no. Anxiety cannot go away on its own, because either consciously or unconsciously, some type of change must be applied. Let me explain. Consciously, the person must make a decision that says, if I change, I have connected a tremendous amount of pleasure to this change happening. And no longer is there a feeling of being so connected to their misery or the addiction to suffering. So that's a conscious choice. Through that conscious choice, the exploration begins. The curiosity begins. You are led to this book, that teacher, that healer, and intuitively you are taking steps on that ladder of healing from one step to the next, from one stage to the next. But it's because you are taking conscious action. You are consciously going through the day, recognizing certain old thought patterns that you used to replay over and over again, and you're starting to learn how to think for yourself. Because replaying a thought means thinking in line with somebody else, and thinking means thinking in line with what you believe to be true. So there's a big difference between thinking and replaying. Those are conscious actions. Along those lines, conscious behavioral changes, right? Things that you used to run away from, you're now moving towards. And as you're moving towards them, you're feeling a sense of vulnerability coming from the subconscious mind that says, hey, this is different. And anything that is different is deemed a threat by the subconscious mind or inner child. So this world of unfamiliarness is starting to become more familiar, called healing, because of your conscious actions, based on a decision that you made. But let's also take into account the fact that the conscious part of you doesn't necessarily always have to make a decision in order for you to change. The unconscious part of you is still very much curious as to what changes are in fact safe in this world, what changes can be adopted, and who you can become. So the truth is that the unconscious part of you may pick up on information regarding a behavior that you don't even know you're doing, an action that you don't even know you're taking. Or the unconscious part of you may pick up on information and verbal cues from other people. Someone says something that's related to anxiety symptoms, and all of a sudden you feel like they're diffusing within you, or you're becoming disinterested towards your anxiety symptom. It's not like you consciously did anything, but the unconscious part of you is always taking notes as to what your behaviors are, so on and so forth. So a change must happen, okay? A change must happen either in a conscious sense or an unconscious sense for this new you to arise. And what I mean by this new you is a you that isn't always joyful, happy, but a you that feels a sense of inner peace within. A you that feels like he or she can direct their lives and manifest what it is they want without striving or fighting for it. So, no, anxiety cannot go away on its own, because either consciously or unconsciously, some type of change must be applied. Some type of change must be applied. Now, I want to share with you some of the ingredients of change, the main ingredients of change, okay? And you may see some of this within you. And if you do, then great. And if you don't, then become curious over it so that you can in time adopt these ingredients to change. One of the most common ingredients to change that I've noticed is trusting in a perspective and a way of life that opposes the values that your survival way of being has created. So here you are going through your day and you're beginning to trust in a new perspective over life, right? And the trust is growing by the day. Of course, you have your moments where you're pulled back into those survival instincts, the values based on your survival instincts that want to pull you back just in case you're stepping too far. But through this feeling of trust, you're starting to also feel a sense of letting go, right? The things that used to be so important to you aren't very important to you. The things you didn't give so much attention to before that really were important, you're starting to give more attention to, like your family. And your life isn't so much geared around survival. Your life isn't so much geared around your physical body. Your physical body is no longer everything. There's much more to this existence. There's much more to life than that. So you are starting to trust in a new perspective over life. Can you see this within you? If you can, comment below. I'd love to hear from you. The second ingredient to change is the emotional connection to any type of change that is willingly or unwillingly applied, right? So you are starting to have an emotional connection to the change that you are noticing. Right? What that means is that here you are putting yourself in a situation that you normally would never put yourself in. Maybe it's talking to strangers. Maybe it's smiling more. Maybe it's letting go of those old habits and starting meditation, reframing, whatever it is. These new habits. And you're also recognizing an emotional connection to these changes. So you're meditating and you're feeling a sense of being connected to what you're doing. And you're feeling a sense that you can let go to an intelligence that is far more intelligent than your conscious mind. Great stuff. So you're starting to feel an emotional connection towards the habits and the changes that you're making in your life. Because back in the day it was, I'll do this or I'll try this, right? But that's really not the way to approach change, okay? Trying is basically saying failing, okay? So you don't want to say I'm trying, maybe committing or persevering through or whatever, but not trying. And so you never allowed yourself to have an emotional connection to what it is that you were doing that was new, but now everything is changing. And finally, the ingredient to change that I've noticed is a sense of enjoyment within the process of change and healing. A sense of enjoyment. Imagine that. You get this feeling like, I'm enjoying the wins, but at the same time, I'm not hoping anymore that the setbacks don't occur, because a part of me is actually enjoying those as well. What a place to be. What an amazing place to be. A place where nothing is either good or bad, but it's life, teaching us lessons, learning from those lessons, moving forward. So you get this sense now that you are enjoying the anxiety healing journey because you're coming into your own. Things you thought you could never do, you're starting to do. Right? You're starting to share ideas with other people. You're coming out of your box. You're coming out of your shell. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It really is. And when people start to feel slightly strange or uncomfortable around you, that's a very good sign that you are healing, right? The people that knew you so well. Oh, here comes the over-worrier. Right? Here comes anxious Betty, whatever it is, right? Well, let me tell you something. Anxious Betty is no more anxious Betty, right? Calm Betty now. And they're going, what the heck happened? No. We liked you when you are anxious, Betty, because this is unfamiliar, and with unfamiliar comes uncertainty, and we basically have to start this relationship all over again because we don't know this person. Well, let me tell you something. Sometimes during this healing journey, you're going to have to sacrifice the people that grew very close to you, friends and family members, right? So that you can come back into your own and then revisit them in the future in the new, true, divine self. So don't be afraid of sacrifice. Accept it. Be willing to step into it. And I want to leave you with this. The problem isn't so much when and if anxiety goes away. The biggest problem is how you respond to the discomfort and vulnerability of being healed from anxiety. Powerful stuff. Comment below. Tell me how this video spoke to you. And let me tell you one more thing. If you don't fully grasp or fully understand some of this content, yes, that's okay. Because you planted a seed, right? You're here for a reason. And that reason is to heal and to find your true self. So confusion can be a good thing, right? And allow yourself to become more curious around that confusion, to move beyond it. My friends, one more time. The problem isn't so much when and if anxiety goes away. The biggest problem is how you respond to the discomfort and vulnerability of being healed from anxiety. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Have a wonderful day, and remember that you are more than anxiety.